Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. It has been about a month since my last video that was talking about the A.J. Brown trade and the draft pick of Treylon Burks, but I am back now. Let me make sure that my audio is good, and it is beautiful. Great. So here we are. Now it's time to discuss the Tennessee Titans 2022 schedule, which was released May 12th, I want to say, and I was actually out of town that weekend. I was in Destin, Florida, and then I've been kind of busy the last couple of weeks, but now luckily my latest software release is done. I have more free time, and I figured, and we still have to talk about the draft picks, and we will, but I figured the more relevant topic right now is the schedule. I know it's been 4 weeks, so we've already analyzed it, but I want to analyze it, so that's what we're going to talk about today, and I will take comments, questions, concerns, and super chats, hopefully, at the end. If you have anything that you want to discuss as it pertains to the Tennessee Titans, again, I will talk about the draft picks, specifically going through the tape, going through the film, giving you my thoughts on the players individually that we took in basically the entire draft. Even Treylon Burks, I've already dissected a little bit. I'll go in depth on him very soon. Just want to get as deep as possible as I can into the prospects. That way we can set expectations appropriately, because God knows, and I love him and I love us, but the Tennessee Titans fan base, wow, we can go lofty expectations when it comes to rookies. And now we're hearing about Treylon Burks, and I'm sure there's going to be a couple of Treylon Burks questions and comments that I will address at the end of this video. But this is why we set expectations well, people. But now let's get into the 2022 schedule for the Tennessee Titans, a schedule that I believe isn't too bad. I think this is a very manageable schedule. You always love to see the NFC East on your schedule. Who the hell doesn't love to see that? So we're gonna go game by game here, and I'm gonna either give a win or a loss for each of these games. Titans 2022 schedule, and let's go off to the races. And also a decent amount of primetime games. I think in total, is it 4? And then one is a Thursday night football game, I wanna say. And then we'll see about the Jacksonville Jaguars Week 18 game, but I would not anticipate that being any sort of primetime game, unless if the Jacksonville Jaguars end up being a better surprise than I think any of us think that they're going to be. And yeah, so I'm counting actually 3 primetime games, including one Thursday night football game, which I'll take. I mean, I'm not one that's huge when it comes to primetime games. In fact, I mean, I think it's hilarious. There we go. Yeah. In fact, I think it's hilarious, the fact that a lot of Titans fans want to complain about, oh, we don't get on primetime, oh, no one respects us, and then as soon as we get to face the Cincinnati Bengals, we get blown out in the playoffs. So that's why I'm like, sometimes I don't know if I want to be on national television, sometimes. So let's start with the New York Giants, 3:25 p.m. Central. Surprisingly, the New York Giants Week 1. And look, here's my thing when it comes to the New York Giants. I thought they had a great draft. I mean, when you're talking about getting 2 of the premier talents in the draft in the first round within the top 10, was the top even 7 picks of the draft. I mean, Kayvon Thibodeau, Evan Neal, love it. I mean, how could you not love that? However, as long as Daniel Jones is the quarterback, and although he's extremely talented, Saquon Barkley is the running back who cannot stay healthy. They still don't have their wide receiver room figured out. They're just throwing wide receivers in there, just throwing wide receivers in there and just hoping, things go well. Evan Ingram has fallen off. The old line is still in disarray, although, again, I think it'll be better, but it's still in disarray. The defense is still a disaster. I think the Giants stink again this year. I mean, maybe a slight improvement. I mean, 6 wins? Maybe. But, I mean, this franchise is a joke. This iteration of the Giants is absolutely awful. I mean, the only thing that can compare to this is the Jaguars and the Lions. And even the Lions, I mean, no, the Lions can compare to this. But I mean, outside of it's really hard to be this bad for an extended period of time. And now you're talking about 4 years now for the Giants that they've been really bad. I mean, this is getting a little absurd because you can even accidentally win 7 games. Like last year, the Falcons accidentally won 7 games. They weren't even trying to win 7 games and they accidentally won 7 games. So 1-0 here for the Tennessee Titans for sure. as they beat the New York Giants week 1. We look at the week 2 matchup. We have the Tennessee Titans at the Buffalo Bills. Monday Night Football game, a return to Monday Night Football. As we saw last year, the Titans beat the Buffalo Bills in Nashville, Tennessee on Monday Night Football, a game in which I attended. I was definitely the good luck charm for that game. However, for this game, I will not be in attendance. And now, the good thing about this game, though, it is week 2. This is early in the season. This is September in Buffalo, so it's not too cold, okay? It's not too cold, 100%. But let's keep it $150, okay? Just for a second. We were able to beat the Bills with a healthy Derrick Henry. And we had to do so in comeback fashion, and it was in Nashville. Now it's in Buffalo. Buffalo has, I don't think they've regressed. They might end up regressing if they just end up being kind of lazy and they just regress for whatever behavioral reasons outside of roster reasons or injury reasons. But their roster is just as good as on paper as it was last year, whereas I can't say the same for us. Tennessee Titans 1-1. Week 3, Tennessee Titans host the Las Vegas Raiders. I keep wanting to say Oakland, man. God, I got to get used to it. The Las Vegas Raiders, week 3 in Nashville. Now, the Raiders, this is going to be interesting because Raider fans already have lofty expectations for this season. And, you know, I guess they should. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. Look, I love the addition of Davante Adams. I think their draft picks right. And, you know, but they do the same thing every year when it comes to the draft picks. Some of them hit, some of them are awful. And it just seems like they have such a low ceiling and they're in that really tough division, but they're facing us. And empirically, who is better, the Las Vegas Raiders or the Tennessee Titans? I mean, I think it's a coin flip. I really do believe it is a coin flip. Now, Titans fans are going to want to hear that, and that's fine. But that's truly what I believe. And you know, everyone's going to disagree with this, to be honest, but I think we're going to sneak up on the Raiders here and get the W. Now, I'll tell you this, the national media, they're not going to give us this one. And you know what? I'm going to be okay with that. You know, some people are going to be offended by that. I personally won't. But I think week 3, we should get it done against Raiders. But again, people, that is a toss-up. That is a toss-up. Be very careful when you look at that one. Week 4, we have Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. And here we go. Again, people, I don't want to get carried away. Now, last year was a great year. Okay, it was a great year, 12-5. By the way, a record in which I predicted. I mean, does anyone predict the Tennessee Titans record better than I? Okay, while game to game, sometimes I might be a little inaccurate. When it comes to overall record, people, I'm pretty damn accurate. We swept the Colts last year for the first time in I don't know how many years. But people, I mean, come on, people. Really? Is it gonna happen again? I mean, come on. We gotta be a little realistic here. It's not gonna happen again. Not this year. Look, we're going to sweep some teams in this division, at least one, but I can't say it's going to be the Colts this year. It's 2-2 for the Tennessee Titans. And then week 5, we travel to Washington as we take on the Washington Commanders. And by the way, a name that I don't hate, I hate the logo. The logo stinks. The logo's nothing. But I don't mind the name. I think the name is all right. I actually think it's a decent name. I don't know why everyone's hating on the name so damn much. I actually think it's a decent damn name. The Commanders. I think it's a kind of a dope name, to be honest. So I'm cool with the Washington Commanders. Can we go to Washington and get the W? Now, they still find their quarterback position in flux, which I like. The defense will be improved. It'll be scarier than ever. The offense will be better. And, you know, a lot of Washington fans are expecting them to be a playoff team. I think it's possible. I think it's certainly possible. And considering the fact that the NFC is weak, considering the fact that the NFC East is weak, I could definitely see it. But I still think we're a better team than them, and I think, push come to shove, we should beat them in Washington. We move on to the next game. Oh, it's a bye week in week 6, and then week 7, we host the Indianapolis Colts, and this should be a W, okay? Hosting the Colts, it should be a split. I'm expecting a split. I mean, I just can't. I know people are going to want me to pick a sweep against the Colts. I'm not doing it. I'm not being an idiot. Okay, I think that'd be a dumb move. I think it'd be a biased move, and I'm not here to be biased. I'm here to give y'all the truth. We're going to split with the Colts this year. I think at least 90% chance that we split with the Indianapolis Colts this year. By the way, you have a super chat by David Kahn. David Kahn says, MJ tried to sneak in a win against my Raiders. Hold on, let me display that on the screen. Give him his due. And look, I know David Kahn. I knew he was probably going to be here. How did I know? And look, man, again, that was going to be a close one. It's an absolute toss-up. We're going to see who's going to get that one done. But for right now, I definitely have to go with the Tennessee Titans against the Raiders. But again, an absolute toss-up. We will see who wins that matchup. Thank you for the super chat, David Kahn. Hold on, I'm trying to get that on the screen for you. And then we'll keep it pushing. Where is it at? Yep, there we go. Yeah, David Kahn. MJ tried to sneak in and win against my Raiders. Yeah, I did. I had to try. And, we'll see what's going to happen there, but it's definitely going to be a 50-50 game. All right, so we move on to the next game. Week 8, we have Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. Now, luckily for us, the Texans still stink, and they still don't have the quarterback situation figured out as far as I'm concerned. The Texans should still be bad next year, and for maybe even years to come, the roster's in complete disarray, so I feel very comfortable picking the Titans here. Tennessee Titans 5-2. Next game, we have the Tennessee Titans at the Kansas City Chiefs, and okay, here we go. Now, I think that the Chiefs are due for a true regression. And we find this game on Sunday Night Football. So what an opportunity here for the Tennessee Titans to go onto the field Sunday Night Football and make a statement similar to how they went on Sunday Night Football and beat the eventual Super Bowl champion LA Rams. Can they do something similar here? Maybe this is some bias speaking. And it really depends on our wide receiver situation. We're going to discuss this all season long. We still have not picked up a wide receiver that I really have confidence in. Patrick Mahomes down the stretch in the clutch against this defense. I think we have the pass rush at this point to subdue him. I am going to go win here for the Tennessee Titans, surprisingly, at the Kansas City Chiefs. This is something that I'm going to go. But then, week 10, Tennessee Titans host the Denver Broncos. And this is where I'm actually probably going to surprise you. I'm going to pick an upset here. I think the Broncos are going to be competitive this year. I think they're going to likely be a playoff team. In fact, I will say they will be a playoff team with Russ Wilson at the helm. And they're going to win games like this. Now, I'm not going to go on the record saying they're going to win the division because the Chargers is going to be extremely difficult to go up against. But I think we're going to split with the Chiefs and the Broncos, but I'm going to have the opposite order that a lot of people will have. I'll have us beating the Chiefs, but I'll have us losing to the Broncos at home. This makes the Titans 6-3. And then a quick turnaround, Thursday Night Football, going to Green Bay, facing the Green Bay Packers. Look, I want to see about this Green Bay Packers wide receiver situation. No Devontae Adams there. They've had issues without him in the past. But look, people, we stink in Green Bay. I don't know how many times we have to see this. I've seen it enough. I just hope that it's close enough to where we don't embarrass ourselves again. I mean, we're just not good against this team, and we're not good against Aaron Rodgers. He knows how to pick this team apart. Doesn't matter what iteration of team this is. Titans 6-4. All right, so we return to the schedule. We have the Cincinnati Bengals week 12. What a gauntlet, by the way. I mean, look at this gauntlet, week 9 through, I would even say week 12. Yeah, you're talking about Chiefs, Broncos, Packers, Bengals. Brutal, 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 brutal. All right, well, at least it's at home. I like that. Oh boy, but the Bengals the Bengals are going to be a very interesting case study for people that actually have intelligence, which is few on this planet, to be quite honest with you, because they're probably, in my opinion, going to be a better team than they were last year in the regular season and overall. However, this may not, and I think likely will not, translate to a better regular season record, and I think certainly not a better postseason performance. I think the Bengals are likely to maybe be a first round exit or something like that, but may have been a better team, a team that had better defense and better pass protection. So when it comes to this specific game, I don't love it, but I think coming off of the Packers loss and having extra rest, the Titans should be able to get it done. But again, we're going to have to see about this wide receiver situation because, man, Treylon Burks for having some concerns over there, and we're going to need him to step up this season if you want to be able to have, be as successful as we want to be this upcoming year. All right, next game we have Week 13 at the Philadelphia Eagles. And people, I am not the biggest fan of the Philadelphia Eagles under Jalen Hurts, but they're building something. And you know who we're going to be facing in this game. You can feel it. It's electric. It's going to be A.J. Brown. The Eagles are on the come up. The Eagles are going to be competing for the NFC East. This is in Philly. I don't love it in Philly historically. Again, different iterations, but I don't love that. I think this is an L. So again, a surprising switch. Some people might have us beating the Bengals and then, losing to the Bengals and then beating the Eagles. I'm going to have the reverse. I think we'll beat the Bengals, but then surprisingly lose to the Eagles in Philadelphia. This is what I have. Titans currently 7-5. We move on to the next game, hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a win. That's an absolute win. I mean, I'm already seeing people saying, oh, look out for the Jaguars. They're building something offensively. They are having a decent offseason. If you look at their talent, look at what they might do. Okay, no, we're not playing this game again when it comes to the Jaguars. I'm done with this game. I played it. I've seen it. I don't want to see it again. Please, no. I don't want to get hyped. I'm not going to get I don't believe you. I don't. Stop it now. God. Titans 8-5. Now, Titans going to LA to face the LA Chargers. Oh, and this LA Chargers duo of Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. My God. The continued progression of Justin Herbert. My God. Their improved offensive protection. Dear Lord. This is an L for the Tennessee Titans, people. Man, the Chargers going to be very good. But then they go on to host the Houston Texans in Week 16, and I think this is, again, a year where the Titans should sweep the Houston Texans, a team that is on the rails, a team that is struggling, and that is currently what I have. Interestingly here, we have hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Now, what I like about this matchup, it's Week 17, and this is Cowboys choke territory. This is when the Cowboys love to choke. Okay, this is the period in the year where they love to choke. They love to get themselves prepared to blow the season and to embarrass themselves, basically, and essentially, and emphatically on a national stage. Now, this won't be a national game, but this is actually, I think it might be because it's going to be on a Thursday. I'm not sure how they're going to do the games on that weekend. I think they're actually are they doing all the games on that Thursday? I'm not really sure how they're doing it because the Sunday is New Year's Day. So I'm not sure how they're doing it, but we'll see. Regardless, this is interesting. This is a 50-50 call for me. I think both teams are going to have around the same record this year. I love the fact that Cowboys no longer have Amari Cooper. I love the fact that Ezekiel Elliott's on the decline. I hate the fact that CeeDee Lamb's on the come up, though. Dalton Schultz, we'll see about that situation. The defense, Micah Parsons. This is a 50-50 call. So for right now, I'm going to go. I mean, you already know I'm going to have us beating the Jaguars Week 18. So let me ask myself, would I rather right now pick the Titans to go 10-7 or 11-6? To be honest with you, 10-7. So I'm going to have us losing this one here. And then again, Week 18, we're facing the Jaguars. And this is a game that's going to matter to us. It will not matter to them, and we'll get it done. So Tennessee Titans, 10-7. That is my current prediction for this team. 10-7 for the Tennessee Titans this upcoming season. Now, again, why do I have a regression when it comes to this record? I know we have Derrick Henry for the entire season. Does this automatically mean that we're going to be better than last year? Last year we went 12-5, for God's sake. So, of course, with Derrick Henry in the front, we should be a better team. This wide receiver situation, I don't trust it. Now, when we talk about Treylon Burks, everyone's talking about his asthma. He had to miss practice because of an asthma situation recently. He had to leave practice because of an asthma situation recently. I'm not worried about his asthma. I'm someone that also has asthma. Now, my asthma has not prevented me from taking part in any physical activity since I was like 14. I'm well conditioned. I don't love running marathons, half marathons. Y'all are crazy. I can run 3K, 5Ks, no problem, no asthma attacks. I'm not in like NFL football shape. Jesus Christ, I'm not saying that. but it doesn't prevent you. I mean, and we have plenty of examples of professional athletes, David Beckham, Jerome Bettis, Dominique Wilkins, who have asthma. It's not a problem. I mean, unless if it's like you have chronic asthma and like you are just hella dependent on your inhaler, like you can't even like, there are some people that are like this. You can't go a couple hours without using your inhaler. That's ridiculous. I don't think it's like that. Because if it is, we would have heard about that by now. And that's a hella red flag because that means you literally have no space in your lungs. But like, if you're conditioned, there's like no way. Like, that's only people that are like hella out of shape, fat, sitting on the couch eating potato chips. If you have like chronic asthma, but you move and you're in shape, like it should not be a problem. Like you should really not have to use an inhaler at all. Some people might be a little more severe. So maybe Treylon Burks is the guy that maybe needs it every day whenever he's doing physical activity. Okay, fine. I've heard cases of that, but it's not that bad. You get the relief from the inhaler and you're good to go, right? So I'm not worried about that. However, the fact that he's already missing practices does not bode well for his early season contribution. Robert Woods is coming off of an ACL, people. He can only do so much, and he's still only Robert Woods. He is a number 2 wide receiver, period. A number 2, a good number 2, but a number 2. He's not a number 1. We had a number 1, we let him go. Okay, so that's what happened. So we don't have a number 1 wide receiver. We have a number 2. We have a we'll see in Treylon Burks. This is a total we'll see. I know you guys want to be optimistic. Okay, he could be N'Keal Harry. We don't know. He could be Justin Jefferson. That would be great. We don't know. It's a complete question mark, and I'm not going to bet on that. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, we've seen it. 400-500 receiving yards max. Not interested in that. Des Fitzpatrick is back. Okay. Mason Kinsey, dear God, don't get us started with that again. Okay, so, I mean, this wide receiver room stinks. And, I mean, it's just that simple. And then with an average to really below average tight end in Austin Hooper, we'll see if he has the resurgence. But even then, even in his better years, he got like 700-800 yards for the Falcons, but he wasn't particularly impressive. I mean, let's relax on that, people. We're talking about an average to below average signing situation there. Offensive line is in flux as you have Dylan Radins in a right tackle. We're going to see what happens at left guard. Taylor Lewan, he should finally be back to being good. And the defense is good, and it's budding and it's growing. And I think the defense is going to be a big part of this team as it was last year. But I think there are some considerable teams that we're facing on the schedule. Like, I like the fact that we're facing the NFC East, but I do have us losing to the Eagles, and I do have us losing to the Cowboys. Those are two of the better teams in the NFC East, and I do have us losing to them. And then you're talking about the Broncos. You're talking about the Raiders. You're talking about the Chiefs. You're talking about, who else did I miss? The Chiefs, the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chargers. AFC West, brutal division you're facing there. AFC South is still weak. Good. We love seeing that. But then some of the other games are a bit difficult. So I feel like 10-7 is fair. And AFC South, it's going to be right there. It's going to be touch and go. It's going to be fought for. I think we'll still win it. I have us still winning it. But if you had to put a gun to my head and ask me what record would I have a Colts getting right now, I'd tell you 10-7. So it's going to come down to tiebreakers. That's my estimation as of this moment. Now, Treylon Burks comes out, and this guy gets 700-800 yards maybe even 900, maybe 1,000, maybe. I don't think it's going to happen, but maybe. Then we're talking 12 plus. But without that, man, just one of the ball playing defense. Nah, P. We need a more strong passing offense than that. I know last year it worked well enough. Okay, fine. Nah, son. If we don't get this passing offense going, some real wide receivers moving the rock next year, son, we're not talking 12 plus wins, son. Okay, I don't want to have that conversation. Let's not even have that conversation. So I have my hopes up. We will see. But for right now, it's 10-7, and I'd be okay with that. And then we'll see. We'll see if we have an appearance or more from Malik Willis. We'll see. We will see when it comes to Willis. All right. So with that said, it doesn't look like there's anyone in the chat that has any comments, questions, or concerns tonight. So we'll go ahead and call it a wrap here. Tennessee Titans 2022 schedule predictions. What are your thoughts on the Titans 22 schedule? What are your predictions for this upcoming season? Again, we're still months away. We got plenty of time to digest. Hopefully we're able to use some of the money that we got from the Julio Jones cut. okay, the post June 1 cut and pick up a damn wide receiver. There's some wide receivers out there that we can get. And if we get a decent one, I could bump this up to 11 games easily when it comes to the Titans this upcoming season. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.